My name is Jennifer Wolverton. I'm going to talk about the price bill for Alabama. It just got filed in our Capitol building, and it is SB 202 if you want to look it up. I encourage everyone to read the bill. I encourage all legislators to vote yes. It's going to do a lot of good for our kids in Alabama. You can check me out on my Facebook page at Alabama School Choice. Again, my name is Jennifer Wolverton. I'm an engineer, used to work for Newport News Shipbuilding in Virginia, which is also at one time Northrop Grumman. I'm a CEO and founder of my own LLC. We do STEM education. We're called Log Cabin Schoolhouse. And I am currently an independent lobbyist. I don't take any money for being a lobbyist. I actually pay to be a lobbyist because I feel like kids in education need a lot of help in Alabama. So that's what I'm doing with my time. But more than anything, I consider myself just a mom. I'm a mom and a homeschool mom, and I live in Madison County. So that's me. So through this presentation, real quick, I'm going to see how fast I can shoot through this. And if you have any questions or thoughts on this, you can find me on my Facebook page and send me questions. We're going to do the introduction of the bill's background, the purpose of the bill, the impact that the bill is going to have on the whole community, the state, kids, education, and who might be in opposition to the bill. And then I'm going to talk about who's supporting the bill. And that I'm going to try and do as fast as I can. All right. What is the purpose of the price bill? So the price bill is universal. We're asking for it to go to all children, but it's going to take us 3 years to roll it out because they want to be really smart about how this works and that it doesn't end up spending too much money in the beginning, and that they're learning as they're going, and they're not going to have every child begging them to come in the first year while they aren't going to be as good at it in first year as they will be in third year. So universal is the goal, 3 years to roll it out. Empowers parents to direct the education of their children. That's obvious. That's the purpose of the bill. That is the core purpose of the bill. ESAs, monies will follow the child, not the school. So no one is anti-school here. I want to make that very, very clear. We all love our schools. Probably 80% of our populace in Alabama will never leave their public schools because they're happy. They always say they love Friday night lights, the football games, the camaraderie. Maybe you're in band and you would never leave your band program, and that's wonderful. The ESA allows for the money to follow a child, though, and if the child needs to leave a school for any reason, like I mentioned earlier, they should be able to still be funded, fully funded. So everyone talks about fully funding schools. I'd love it if we started calling it fully funded children. We need to fully fund our children in Alabama, all of them. Unused funds roll over to next year. So kindergarten doesn't cost as much as 12th grade costs. I don't need $6,900 to homeschool kindergarten, but you better bet that if I have $6,900, I'm going to spend it very wisely. I'm going to save it for college, or I'm going to save it maybe in high school. I want to attend one of the more pricey high schools. I can roll this money over and it is my child's funding, because remember, I want to fully fund children, not schools. So that money I will move around proportionately to when the child needs it. Better educate the learning disabled population. This is what I constantly talk about on my page, and I hope that everyone will join me out on my Facebook page, Alabama School Choice. We need to do better with our learning disabled children. This IDEA Act at the federal level is not working. I even heard from a Board of Education member that only 8% is even funded. So if they require a child to get $20,000 in services and accommodations, the federal government doesn't pay for that. They're just requiring the states to pay for it. So if your school can't afford it, then they really struggle. And this is a lot of the reasons why the principals, the assistant principals, and the guidance counselors, when they're sitting around the table with a parent trying to discuss how to pay for this child's specialized education, they push back because they don't have the money. So it's just the way that works. But if a child in Arizona is ADHD, they get a little bit more money than a neurotypical child. And our bill does not spell this out yet, so this is not part of the current conversation for the price bill, but in the future it will be. An ADHD child has different needs. My son is ADHD and dysgraphic, and we just got done paying $3,400 for a service for him to get sensory therapy. And now we're going to be looking at vision therapy next, and there's going to be some other things down the road. And he needs those things in order to have a full and purposeful education. And all ADHD kids, ASD kids, dyslexic kids who learn totally different than non-dyslexic kids need to have services that other kids don't need to have. So better educate the learning disabled population. That is the purpose of the price bill. So don't think that just because one person can homeschool totally for free with a library card, that does not mean everybody can. My children are not free with a library card if they have learning disabilities. And there are a lot of learning disabilities that are going unaccounted for when you have two parents that work all the time, and maybe they don't have a lot of money to even pay for these kinds of things. And so they're not going to go and pay for specialized doctors and all those things. That could be why we have 750,000 kids in Alabama's public schools, and less than half of them are reading at grade level when they graduate. So this is a really, really big conversation nobody's having over this. It's not about homeschools are free, that we don't want money. There are so many kids who need that funding to follow them, and not the schools. We are not supporting schools, you guys. We are supporting children. So we need to figure out how to do that. The purpose of price is to fund children, not schools. In the end, if the children are all fully funded, the schools will be amazing because the children will be testing well. It's an outcome, not the purpose. All right, so allow socioeconomic disadvantage to attend private schools too. This is something else that nobody's talking about. So if I have two children, one has funding with their family and the family does not have funding to send them to a private school, we don't have equality in America unless we allow a little bit of funding for all the kids to consider private school if they need to for any reason at all. That is true equity and equality. So socioeconomic disadvantaged children do not currently have school choice. I want to make that very clear. Everyone keeps saying there's already school choice in America. Anyone can go to private school that wants to. Anyone can homeschool that wants to. But that is not true. If I have a lower socioeconomic family that also has learning disabilities within them, they cannot homeschool for free even. So that's important to know. Promote tax dollars going to small Alabama businesses, not Pearson or College Board. So I addressed that a little bit. I want my tax dollars to support Alabama businesses. I'd love to see all of our education providers in our area grow and thrive and become amazing places. Instead, we're paying Pearson. I don't even think that's an American company, and we're making them a mountain. And College Board, they even have themselves listed as multiple different company names, I think, so that you can't sum up how much money we send them as a state. I would love it if somebody sent me a spreadsheet showing me how much Alabama gives to Pearson and College Board. If anybody wants to do that, I would love that. I'm going to probably do that at some point. Anyways, local businesses with our school education tax dollars. Now that's really hard for our public schools to do. So the only way we're going to do that is if we set this up on a student level and not a school level. College fund. So the purpose of price, we will be helping families create college funds. And I'm going to show you how in either the next slide or a few slides. News on price. All right, so I'm going to put this PowerPoint presentation in the About section of my Facebook page, Alabama School Choice, and it has these links here on this page that show this is articles that were written since the bill was filed. So they're super relevant, they're super recent. I hope you'll read them all. The bottom three bullets, PowerPoint presentation, alabamaeagle.org. I wrote this presentation, but there was another really great presentation the Alabama Eagle Forum has done, and I hope that you'll all watch that as well. The presentation is the third to the last bullet. There's a video that the leader of Alabama Eagle did, and that's the second to last bullet. Please watch that one as well. It shows a nice slide of the funding. And then here is the bill. It says in the very last one, if you want to read the bill, and I encourage everyone to read the bill, it is 28 pages. It's not too terribly long. What I did was I opened it and I clicked read aloud. And then I went and I cooked dinner for my family, and I just let it read it to me while I was cooking. So you can do that too. Don't make it take up a ton of time. Fit it into your day. Play it while you're driving to work in the morning. But that is the actual bill at the bottom there.